Ms. Maja Vitas is a social anthropologist from Belgrade who works as communication and public relations coordinator at the Nansen Dialogue Center in Serbia. She also works as the GPAC media focal point in the Western Balkans region. At NDC Serbia, Maja supports work on improving inter-ethnic relations by implementing educational trainings on dialogue, peaceful conflict resolution, and mediation. In addition, Maja has participated in the establishment of the GPAC network in the Western Balkans from its early beginnings in 2004.
Thank you, Gesa. Good afternoon, everybody. As Gesa said, I'm coming from a peace-building organization, the Nansen Dialogue Center Serbia, which is a part of a broader Nansen Dialogue network established in the Western Balkans in early 2000 and 2001. As a regional network, we also have strong links to Norway as a country, as Nansen Coordination Unit and Nansen Peace Center are located in Lillehammer, Norway. The main peace-building strategy of our network was, from its early beginnings, to create safe spaces for inter-ethnic dialogue to take place amongst representatives of communities that were affected by the war in 1990s in the Balkans, or those communities where inter-ethnic tensions were a part of everyday lives, and therefore they were a potential conflict risk and a potential risk of violence in those communities. The Nansen Dialogue Network believes that dialogue and work for reconciliation should be given a higher priority when dealing with conflicts around the world. Within our network, women and men have always worked together on establishing inter-ethnic dialogue within communities, as well as during regional peace-building activities that happened since, as I said, the year 2000 and 2001 until present throughout our region. Many projects have been implemented during that time, and maybe it was because of our strong link to Norway, or because of the composition of our network, which engaged people of different ethnicities, but also of both genders in our daily work. Therefore, I see my role in this panel today to underline the participation aspect of Resolution 1325 and how women actually are acting as active agents in the field of peace building and conflict prevention in the region of Western Balkans. There is a lot of expertise of women in the field of peace building and conflict prevention in our region. However, I think that their contributions and expertise should be recognized and underlined in everyday activities, as well as in the media spaces and in the general public. As an organization, we are mostly involved in peace education, using dialogue and mediation as our main tools for the education for peace. However, I'm quite familiar with national action plans for the implementation of the Resolution 1325. Most countries in the region of Western Balkans have adopted regional action plans on the implementation of the resolution. However, the processes behind the national action plans were mainly linked to the ministries of defense of particular countries. That was the situation in Serbia, as the initial process was linked to the Ministry of Defense and the process of the reform of the security sector. Therefore, the National Action Plan that was adopted in Serbia underlines the role of women in the security sector and the necessity for their participation in the military and in the in other parts of the security sector, and the peace building aspect that we are focusing on is not that much represented in the national action plan. However, this June, a regional conference was held in Montenegro. It was organized by the Gender Equality Committee of the Montenegrin Parliament and their Gender Equality Coordinator within the Parliament, Mrs. Nada Drobnjak. The title of the international conference was Cetinje Parliamentary Forum, Women, Peace and Security 2 years later, and the conference participants who attended the conference were parliamentarians as well as representatives of civil society from Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Croatia, Kosovo, Macedonia, Slovenia, and Serbia. We were amongst a few civil society organizations that were able to contribute to the final declaration that was adopted at the end of the conference. And I'm really pleased that we managed to introduce peace building as a topic and to underline the necessity for women's active role in the field of peace building within the recommendations of the conference declaration. I will read the 2 recommendations that are particularly important for our future work. The civil society actors, particularly women in NGOs, to continue with education efforts and sensitizing for gender aspects of security and peace building, to continue overseeing the implementation of the Resolution 1325 and the anti-discrimination legislation, in particular gender equality laws and the accompanying implementation instrument. And the next recommendation, education curricula should foster the principle of facing the past to teach the young of tolerance and better understanding of others and different. Recently, I have participated in another international meeting which was organized by the OSCE in their headquarters in Vienna, and the topic of that conference was enhancing the role of women mediators in the OSCE region. The aim of that roundtable was to look for ways of how women's expertise in peace building can be incorporated in formal negotiations. Representatives of international organizations, governments and civil society from the OSCE regions participated at the conference. There was a lot of participation from the countries in the Western Balkans as well as from the countries in the Caucasus and the Central Asia where OSCE is also working. And the overall conclusion of the event was that there is a necessity for more active participation of women experts in the peace processes throughout the region, and that was one of the things that was underlined during the 4 panels that took place during the conference, that we need more women experts in the field, working in the field of conflict prevention and peace building. And from our experience, there is actually a lot of expertise amongst women working in different fields linked to peace building and conflict prevention, and we should engage them more and also promote women as active actors in the field of peace building and conflict prevention. During the final panel at that conference, Professor Marina Blagojevic, who is a lecturer at the Central European University, which is located in Budapest, reminded the audience that gender mainstreaming should be freed of essentialism, as women and men are both gender. For me, this was a great argument that I will keep on using, as our experience is that when women and men are working together in conflict prevention and peace building, the results are inevitable, and that it is actually easier to establish dialogue amongst groups that might be in conflict. For example, when we we're working in establishing school mediation in elementary schools and high schools in Bujanovac in southern Serbia, which is a really ethnically mixed community, where majority groups are Serbian and Albanian. We try to involve women and men, female and male teachers, as well as female and male pupils from different ethnic background into the project. And therefore we open the door for them to have a dialogue about their everyday lives, but also to work together on establishing peer mediation in schools in Bujanovac. Schools in Bujanovac are mainly single. Sorry, I have to. In schools in Bujanovac are mainly divided because of the language barrier. Serbian children are going to one school, and Albanian children are going to another school, and the teaching is in either Serbian or Albanian. So our joint seminars were a rare opportunity for children of different ethnic background to interact. When it comes to the gender aspect of peer mediation clubs that were established in schools in Bujanovac, what we are trying to do is to have peer mediators teams that are consisted of girls and boys, so they could do mediation between girls and boys much better, and actually they could relate to both sides in mediation. Just going back to what Professor Blagojevic said during the conference I mentioned, is that she underlined that the gender issue should be mainstreamed during the peace talks, and that the peace processes, as well as that women should be active part of the peace processes, because that is their right. And I can tell you for sure that in the Western Balkans we plan to put that right into practice, and we plan to use it on a daily basis in our peace building work.
Thank you very much, Maja. I think you've made some important linkages both on the level of national action plans in the region of the Western Balkans, as well as on specifically dialogue and mediation processes, and where the expertise on these processes actually lies. On 1325 and national action plans, we should probably keep in mind that while it is important to have these plans address security sector reform as an important element that picks up also on the regional history, we should also continue to emphasize as civil society the peace-building element of 1325, also in broader women, peace and security discussions. On the element of dialogue and mediation, what I found very interesting was that there is so much expertise available among women at the local and community level on conflict prevention, and specifically on mediation, which is underutilized when it comes to building up regional capacity and higher level capacity for mediation in peace processes. So the expertise is there at the local level, and you also emphasize that the expertise is there on women's and men's collaboration to mediate successfully. So it should probably be the role of these higher level processes to access the capacities that are there at local level and utilize them for successful mediation and continued and enhanced collaboration with women mediators. This concludes the contributions from our panelists, and I would like to thank them again all, Maja, Vina, Carmen, and Gyung Lan.